I'm really hungry, so I'm eating an apple. Alright, I want to talk about this. Sunday's Blind, released in 1992. And I'm a Dream Pop fan. I really like Dream Pop. You know, I like early Smashing Pumpkins, early Verve, Cocteau Twins, Galaxy 500, stuff like that. But when I bought this album, Blind, I was just getting into Dream Pop, and at the time it was just way too much for me. I was coming out of this hard rock stage, and this album is just so laid back, like ridiculously laid back, and it sounded like elevator music to me at the time. You know, it sounded like Muzak stuff, and I really didn't like it at all for the longest time, and I was really, I kind of considered it a waste of my money. But now I love this album, and you know, it's just so relaxing in its laid back stance. You know, it's just ridiculously laid back, and it's awesome that way. So yeah, there's, you know, and the dark tone of this album really kind of draws off of something that the Cocteau Twins would do. And that's really the only stickler point as far as originality is concerned. You know, and the argument could be made that most Dream Pop bands draw inspiration from the Cocteau Twins. The only thing that this album does is it just takes on a really, really dark tone as far as Dream Pop is concerned. So yeah. Anyway, so that's originality. I really like this album. It's not my favorite Dream Pop album, and the Sundays aren't my favorite Dream Pop band, but it's a good album. I mean, there's no denying it. It's a really great album. So yeah, I like it a lot. Production. The production on this is, the style of the music is one of those things where it kind of dictates what the production, it lends to the production. And, you know, on first listen to this album, it sounds glossy and overproduced. But on the repeat listens, you notice, you know, there's not a lot of distortion on the guitar. So there's not room for sloppiness. There's a lot of clean tones on here. There's a lot of, you know, echo and reverb that are applied. That kind of gives a glossy feeling to it. And then there's a lot going on. There is a, you know, this album isn't so much a wall of sound as a tapestry of sound, you know. There's a lot of sound that's just weaving in and out of itself and doing a lot of complex things. It's a very complex album. And when you listen to it, because there's so much going on and it's so complicated what's going on, or complex, it sounds like it's overproduced, but it's not. You know, that's just the way. This is just the way the album sounds. So, good production. Everything's well balanced. Nothing's overtaking. The only thing that I have a problem with, and a lot of Dream Pop bands do this, is they push the drums back. The drums aren't as prevalent in the sound. It's more, you know, the Galaxy 500 does this too. It's more focused on the vocal melody and the guitars. And, you know, that's the style, and I do, you know, it definitely lends to the sound, but you know, every time I listen to a Dream Pop, some sort of Dream Pop band, I just wish that the drums would be pushed forward just a teeny bit more. They're just way, you know, they're a little too far back in the mix for me. So that's production. Flow on here is great. It's good. At some points, you know, because there's not so much energy in the style of music, at some points there's not anything to push the album forward to, you know, keep you engaged. So you really kind of have to through some points you kind of have to, you know, go it yourself. There's nothing there to help you along. But other than that, the flow's great. You know, there's not, you know, repetition. It's not boring. It's a very layered, complex, interesting album. So yeah, Blind, 1992. This album gets an 8. I can listen to about 90%, even more, probably about 95% of the stuff on this album through 1 or 2 times, and I love it. I really do. If you're getting into dream pop, I wouldn't recommend this band. Like I said, they're like hardcore, real dream pop. A good transition band, is the Smashing Pumpkins or even the Verve. Galaxy 500 too. That's a good place to start. So yeah, I would hold off on this album or even some of the Sunday's earlier stuff. I think this is their 3rd album. Something that's a little more lighthearted. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. This is SirAllAboutMusic, and I like apples.